Hello data nerds, what's up? In today's video, we are going to cover an important topic of Power BI, which is difference between SUM and SUMX. Now, this topic is important concept-wise and interview-wise as well. In this video, we are going to answer a few questions about SUM and SUMX, as in how do they differ when it comes to syntax, what are the different problems that they are solving, when we are going to use SUM and when we are going to use SUMX, questions like these. So let's get started. So the very basic and important difference between SUM and SUMX is that SUM is an aggregator function and SUMX is an iterator function. Now let's understand what is this aggregator function and iterator function. Aggregator function is something which aggregates all the values in a column and gives you one single value. That is what aggregator function does. Imagine you have a column in your table which shows the sales for each date. Okay, so you have sales for each date. Now you want to sum all of them up and you want to show the total sales that you have made for that month or for the year. Now, what are you trying to do? You are trying to aggregate the whole values in a column and you are trying to get one single value. So that's what an aggregator function does. And here you'll use SUM. Let's understand that with an example. Now, as you can see on my screen, I have these tables. So shipments is my fact table and these are my dimension tables like products, location, people, and this is my calendar table where I have segregated the date. Now we'll go to the table view. If I click on shipments table, you can see we have a column which shows the sales for each shipment. So for each row, we have different amount of sales. And now we want to present it in one value. We want to show to our stakeholders that what is the total amount of sales that we have made this year or this month. Okay. So for that, we want to sum this whole column. So all you have to do, right click on the measures, click on new measure, and we'll write total sales. I'll write 1 because I already have total sales calculated. And then we'll use the sum function. Sum, column name. It asks the column name that you want to sum. So I'm going to give this column name, which is shipment sales. And then I'll click on this green tick which says commit. Okay, so you see my total sales 1 measure has been created here. Now I'll just add a card. This is a card. And now I'll pull this total sales 1 in this card. It shows that 34.04 million of sales we have made that year. We have 2 decimal places. If you do not want any decimal places, then you can just click on this measure, total sales 1. If you hover on this auto, it says that change the number of decimal places shown for this value. I want to change it to 0, so I'll just write 0. And this became 0 and this became 34 millions. So that was about sum. Now let's understand what is a SUMX function. As I told, SUMX function is an iterator function. By iterator function, I mean that there's some kind of calculation, some kind of logical operation which is going on row-wise. So SUMX calculates things row-wise and then it sums the result. Let's understand this with an example. As you can see, we have another table called sales in our Power BI. If I go to the table view, and if I click on sales, I can see this is the table where I have product details, I have product ID, I have selling price per box, and then I have total boxes sold. I have dates, I have country, and then I have salesperson. 25 rupees is the price of per box for this product. And we have sold 120 such boxes. Now I want to understand that what is the total sales that we have made out of this product. For that, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to multiply selling price per box with total boxes sold, right? Now, this kind of calculation cannot be done with sum. We want this multiplication to happen for every row. So we want this calculation to iterate every row, and that's why it's called an iterator function. So let's do that. So I'll just jump on report view and again measure, right click, new measure. Total sales may be 2. And we are going to use SUMX function. So we'll use SUMX. Now, notice the syntax. It's not like sum. In sum function, you were getting just one argument which was asking for column name. So which column do you want to aggregate? But now when you come to SUMX, it first asks for table. So it asks that which table do you want me to perform this calculation in? So our table is what? Sales table, right? This is the table where we have selling per box and total boxes sold, correct? So we are going to give sales as the table, right? And then comma. And then it asks for the expression. So it asks, what is the calculation that you want to do? What calculation do you want to do? We want to do selling price per box. So I'm just going to write selling price per box. As I write selling, it will suggest me the column name and the table name as well. So I'll just click on tab. I selected this, multiply by total boxes sold. So I'll just write total boxes. So I'll get total boxes suggestions wherever I have in this Power BI. So this was a measure which I calculated. Now, but I want this one, sales table and total boxes sold column. So I'll just select this, close the bracket and then commit. And now if I again just add a card, total sales 2, right? I'll just pull the total sales 2. It shows me you have made a total sales of 67K. So that is the difference between SUM and SUMX. Again, just to repeat everything, when you used SUM function, it gave you one aggregated value of each column, right? So you wanted to sum the total sales, you just summed it up and you got the value. And remember, there was no other calculations involved. But if there's another calculation involved, then you are not going to use SUM, but you're going to use SUMX. Just like we did right now, we had a calculation involved, and after the calculation was done, it summed up the result. So if you just want to go in one line, SUM aggregates a column, whereas SUMX iterates over a table, evaluates an expression row by row, and then sums up the result. So this was it for today. I'll keep coming with such important conceptual and interview questions. Till then, study hard and I'll see you in next video. Bye bye.